Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome all of you in our Bhagavad Gita series. Today we are going to discuss about the glories of Hanuman Chalisa, the descriptions which are given in our Chalisa by great poet and devotee of Lord Rama, Tulsidas. In 16th century, in Chitrakoot, which comes in UP and MP both, he was such a great devotee of the Lord that the pastimes of the Lord was revealed in his mind, and he composed a literature called Manas, glorifying the characteristics of the Lord Rama. And in that Manas, when he was describing different kandas, there are 7 kanda, like Sundar Kand, Aranya Kand, Ayodhya Kand, and Uttar Kand, Yuddha Kand. So all these kands when he was describing. So in Sundar Kand, he glorified Hanuman. And there Hanuman Chalisa he is writing. And in Hanuman Chalisa, many mysteries he has revealed. And one mystery which is very scientific, even from our modern approach also we can see that very scientifically he has presented, that we are going to discuss today. Before we start, let us chant prayers. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांता स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, everyone. So now we are going to see that how Hanuman Chalisa describes the distance between earth and sun. What happened when Hanuman was very small, 6 days, that time his mother had gone somewhere outside to bring fruits, and he was hungry. So he saw in the sky, it was morning and sun was rising and it was very red. So he thought of some kind of ripened mango fruit hanging in the sky. So you see, by birth Hanuman was so powerful that he started flying in the sky to get that. And then he started flying very fast. So all the sages, demigods, Gandharvas, Kinnaras, Charanas, all those inhabitants of upper planetary systems, they started getting surprised that who is this small boy? We have never seen such incidents happen in the past, where a boy of 6 days is flying, and the speed of that boy, we know the speed of the air, very fast. Speed of the mind, many million times faster than the speed of air. But they concluded that the speed of Hanuman is more than the speed of the mind also. That was the speed of Hanuman when he was chasing, he was approaching sun, thinking that this is mango. And then finally he went and swallowed the mango. And who was that mango? None other than sun god Vivashwan. And it was the day of Amavasya. So Rahu was also there, because on the Amavasya day Rahu comes and swallows Lord sun god. But then Hanuman thought that this is another some kind of mango, some fruit. So he approached Rahu also, and he hurted him also, and out of fear he ran away, he flew from there, and finally he swallowed sun. Then all the demigods and everybody, Brahma prayed, and then sun was released from his mouth. So the point is, when poet Tulsidas was writing this, then he wrote Yuga Sahastra. If you have, And Hanuman Chalisa, by the way, it is very famous since beginning, since our childhood. Our parents and relatives, they all, you know, motivate us to at least remember Hanuman Chalisa and recite this before becoming the devotee of Lord Rama or Krishna. Invariably, most of us used to be the devotee of Hanuman only, because in our life we want fearlessness, and it is said that fearlessness comes from reading Hanuman Chalisa, worshipping Hanuman. So many of us would have by hearted memorized the Hanuman Chalisa word by word. Without seeing, we can recite. है ना? But later we forget. So in Hanuman Chalisa, the first very line says, Shri Guru Charana Saroj Raj. So it starts with taking shelter of Guru. Just see, anything, any spiritual activity cannot be achieved, it cannot be achieved perfection without the mercy of spiritual master. So it is started with Sri Guru Charan Saroj Raj. So taking the dust of the lotus feet of spiritual master and putting on the head, smearing on the head. Then he, poet Tulsidas, starting, and then he says, Jai Hanuman Gyan Gun Sagar. He is the ocean of Jnana and Guna. Guna means qualities, knowledge. He is ocean of all these things, good qualities, because Ram Dut, he is great devotee of Lord Rama. And then he goes on explaining, he goes on writing, and then finally he writes, Yug Sahastra Yojan Par Bhanu Lilyo Tahi Madhur Fal Janu. Considering it very sweet fruit, Madhur Fal, Jan means Jankar, Lilyo he swallowed, उन्होंने निगल लिया. And कितना डिस्टेंस था, कितने डिस्टेंस से ये फ्रूट था? युग सहस्र योजन पर भानु. भानु मीन्स सूर्य, युग मीन्स, विल सी दैट कितना है युग का कैलकुलेशन. सहस्र मीन्स 1000, योजन, 1 योजन इक्वल्स टू 8 miles, and if you convert into kilometers, then 8 into 1.6 kilometers. So if you calculate this, then it will be exactly telling the distance of the sun from the earth, which our scientists, after putting a lot of efforts, many scientists came forward. Archimedes, Kepler, and so many, scientists, they came forward and wanted to find out. Somebody said that the distance of sun is x times the radius of earth. Somebody said no, y times radius of earth. Then somebody came, next scientist came, no, he said even 10 to the 10 into x times. So like that, they are all just proposing and guessing. It might be true, it might be true. But recently, then another scientist gave a distance by following the Kepler's law of solar system motion. For Kepler's law, he has given about motion of the orbits. So by following that, he gave the understanding of the calculation, how much far sun is there is situated from the earth. So I'll share, you can see this very nicely, it is presented here. Hanuman Chalisa predicts distance between sun and earth. See, Hanuman is going to swallow sun god. So Hanuman Chalisa was composed by Goswami Tulsidas. He was a great devotee of Lord Ramachandra who lived in 16th century. He composed Ramcharitmanas, the epic story of Lord Rama, retold in vernacular language. Many devotees regularly recite Hanuman Chalisa, a prayer glorifying Sri Hanuman, composed by this great saint and poet. Now you see, it is believed that in one of these verses of Hanuman Chalisa, Tulsidas had given an accurate calculation of the distance between sun and earth. What is the distance? So before giving this calculation, here it is presented that how scientists they thought of presenting. So Greek astronomers were known for their contribution to the scientific field in understanding the heavenly bodies. So many astronomers, scientists, they came to understand the planets. So one is Archimedes, we know him. So what he gave, the distance of sun from earth is 10,000 times the radius of earth. He gave this calculation. Then another scientist came, 2nd century. He gave another calculation, estimated. No, it is not 10,000. It's 490,000 radius of the earth. Just see, scientists themselves are varying. Then another scientist came. He said, no, no, no. It is 1210 times the radius of Earth. So like this, just see, they are going on guessing and putting their own proposals and theories based on their own limited understanding. They are trying to calculate, not thinking that they are not considering this point that they are very tiny, limited. They cannot give the precise understanding, and but still they will not follow the authority. Now here is a Kepler gave a planetary motion, and then by that he calculated that no, just see the difference. 10,000 it was, then 490. Somebody says no, 1200. They see the Kepler's calculation, 23,455 times the radius of Earth. It varied so much. So like this, we can see how scientists are always, perhaps maybe, so like this they are giving the understanding calculation, and we are blindly following that, not considering all these things, that they are always changing their theories. And therefore, Prabhupada, many times it becomes very heavy on these scientists. Modern scientific calculations are subject to one change after another, and therefore they are uncertain. We have to accept the calculation of the Vedic literature. These Vedic calculations are steady. The astronomical calculation made long ago and recorded in the Vedic literature are correct even now. Prabhupada is writing. Whether the Vedic calculations or modern ones are better may remain a mystery for others. But as far as we are concerned, we accept the Vedic calculation to be correct. Scientists may find out the calculation and come to the accuracy, but our scriptures, what they are giving, that is the correct understanding. So then finally, scientists calculated modern calculation, which is recent, that distance between sun and earth is this much, 92 million miles. So this is average, because the distance of sun from earth, it varies. Here, apogee and perigee, there are two positions of the sun, so it varies. So they have taken average distance. Now you see from Hanuman Chalisa what it is, exact calculation. Yug Sahastra Yojan per Bhanu. What is the calculation? So Yug means what? So here he is referring that Yuga is given in Bhagavad Gita also. In Bhagavad Gita 8th chapter, when we'll read, there Krishna has said, Yug Sahasra Yug Paryantam Aharyad Brahmano Viduhu. Means the day of Brahma is 10th. When this Yuga, it passes 1000 times, then that is one day, 12 days of Brahma. 12 days of, sorry, 12 hours of Brahma. How much it is? When this Yuga, Mahayug, Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, Kalyug, this is called Mahayug. One cycle when it passes, it is called one Mahayug. Like this, when 1000 times this Mahayuga passes, that is called one day of Brahma. Sahasra Yuga. Sahas means 1000, Yuga means this 4 yugas. 4 yugas, Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, Kalyug, taken together is called Yuga. Paryantam means when it passes, then ahar means day of Brahma. Brahmano means Brahma का एक दिन होता है कितना बड़ा, 1000 बार जब ये 4 युग, सतयुग, त्रेता, द्वापर, कलयुग जब गुजर जाता, that is one day of Brahma, 12 hours. So that same yuga is taken here, and it is 12,000 celestial years. When you take one yuga means Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, Kalyug is taken together is called yuga. So earthly calculation is 43 lakhs, but celestial calculation is 12,000. So in this, Tulsidas is saying this Yug Sahasra Yug is referring to celestial years. So actually, all the calculation in our scriptures are given in the terms of celestial years, but we convert it into our understanding, in our parameter. From the earthly calculation we convert, but otherwise all the calculation like this, here also yuga, it is given in celestial calculation or heavenly calculation. So now if you put yug sahasra yojan, then what will happen? 12,000 into 1000 into yojan, if you convert into miles, it will be 8. So how much it will come? 96 million. So if you convert into kilometers, 153.6 kilometers, and which is much closer to the calculation of modern scientists. Just see, In fact, scientists are even they have their calculation is not precise. This is more precise. This is accurate. This is not near about or approximation or maybe perhaps. Here the calculation is exact. Dot. There is no flaw into this. But in our approach, in when we calculate, there is always some flaw. So we should accept what scriptures are saying. We should not go by our limited sense perception, because we are always suffering from four defects. But scientists, they will not accept this. So like this, there are so many proofs which establishes that our scriptures are very scientific, very perfect knowledge is given in our scriptures, but still foolish people, they will not accept it and they will always criticize our scriptures. So now I will share another understanding about Sulba Sutra. This is also famous sutra, Sulba Sutra, also called Pythagoras Sutra theorem. But this Pythagoras, he came and stole from our scripture. It is given in Satapatha Brahmana and Taittiriya Samhita, where the calculation, when yajna has to be performed, so the calculation of kund, yajna kund, all these things are described. So in that, this sutra is given, this Pythagoras theorem, which later named as Pythagoras, but in our scriptures it is given as Sulva Sutra. When here you can see in the image, here it is all given like this, all these structures, and here you can see calculation. Katyayan, around 2nd century, Indian mathematician, and a cover page of Treaty of Sulba Sutra by Indian mathematician. So he has presented it in the terms of figure. Who is that? Katyayan Sulba Sutra. But this understanding is given in our Shastras like Brahmana and Samhita, explaining that how earlier when sacrifice is to be performed, so what should be the diameter, what should be the all calculations of the sides, everything is perfectly given. And from there, this Pythagoras came and took this and gave his own name and presented and became famous as Pythagoras theorem. So here you can read that the content of Sul Sutra is likely older than the works themselves. The Satapatha Brahmanas and Taittiriya Samhita, whose content date to the late 2nd millennium or early 1st millennium BCE, describes altars whose dimension appear to be based on the right angle with age of 15 pada and 36 pada. So in terms of our Sanskrit calculation, it is given in terms of pada. But you see, altar means where Lord resides. That is called altar. So to have a accurate dimension, you see, especially in South India, all the temples, they are based on our Shastra scriptures, and all the gates, all the structures, pyramid, everything, the Gopuram, it will be so precisely made. And recently, few in Bliss one, when I was taking class, then I shared one video also where a temple in South India, it is so designed by following our scriptures only, yeah, of course, that sun shine when sun will rise, no. So there were 7 Gopuram, there were 7 Sikhar, means apex in that temple, very huge, grand temple it was. Even it is existing today. So the sunshine will pass through all the 7 Sikhars, and in the Sikhar there was a hole in all the Sikhar. So all through that slit, it will pass, and it will create a very divine, dazzling effulgence surrounding temple. So like this, our earlier technology and all the archaeology was very accurate, and it was being followed you know even today. But now it is not so much promoted. People, because now becoming more of scientific, so they are thinking that we are discovering all these things, so we are very advanced, we are very great. But they don't consider that these things what you are discovering today, it is already given. It is already given. Nothing new you are doing. It is already given. Just you are uh, by your limited understanding, you are doing something or the other. But don't think that this knowledge was not there. All this knowledge were available, but people were not so much focused on this knowledge, because these knowledge are based on this material world, how to have a good life in this material world, how to perform all these sacrifices, everything. But earlier people were interested in going, realizing our real identity and performing the process given and going back to the abode of Krishna. That was their main business of life, not this finding this and that. This is called in scriptures, this is called you know just like a person who fixes all those things, like a puncture wala. If you are bicycling and your tube got punctured, then what you will do, you will go to a puncture wala and he will do all patch up and everything, and then finally your cycle is okay. So this patch up work, it is not, it is not so much adored or glorified or promoted in our scriptures, even though all these things are given. Kapotvai, how to fly in the sky, how to walk on the water, how to make flights. In Bhagavatam it comes, there is one sage, his name is Kardam Muni. He made an aerial mention, and in that mention he was traveling from one planet to another planet, and it was huge. A whole city was constructed into that mention. Complete city was there, and he was moving from one planet to another planet like this. Many years he traveled. So science is given how to construct that. So everything is very nicely given, but unfortunately we are not taught about our scriptures, so therefore we don't have faith also. We don't read, so and blindly we just comment on our scriptures that these are all blind faith. There is nothing called reality in the science. This is mythology. These are all story book. So story जब आएगा तो उसको story बोल के mythology we declare it mythology, and when it comes to science, all these facts, then they will not consider it. अरे ये तो हमें भी पता है. अरे आपको पता चला, but it was already given. How come they could know? Even so, S.C. Verma ने भी concepts of physics में, if you would have read, then the speed of light he has mentioned, that how sages were knowing the speed of light much before, and he has given that formula also, and calculating and giving the speed of light also. So everything is very nicely, perfectly given, what is required for us to survive here and go back to God. But unfortunately we don't consider it. Now I'll share one very nice video to all of you, because today is Hanuman Jayanti. So let us hear one Hanuman Chalisa which is very famous.
Shri Guru Charan Saroj Raj Nij Manu Mukuru Sudhari Baranau Raghubar Bimal Jasu Jodayaku Phalchari बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मुंज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। करिबे को आतुर, प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया। राम लखन सीता मन बसिया, सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा। विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा, भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे। रामचंद्र के काज संवारे। लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम्हरो जस गावें, हस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावें। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिगपाल जाते, कवि कोविद कहि सके कहते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्त्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेली मुख माही, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज समारो आपै, तीनों लोक हाँकते कांपै। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासै रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम बचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्त न धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटहि बंदी महा सुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जयनाथ हृदय महडेरा। की जयनाथ हृदय महडेरा।
पवन तनया संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप।
हरे कृष्णा। सो आप लोगों ने देखा होगा ये हनुमान चालीसा, many lines were so fantastic, so deep, having great meaning. Like few lines I could note down. तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख विसरावे. So all of us are looking for what? To forget our miseries, to vanquish our miseries. But we don't know that how to nullify our miseries. Here is the secret given. What is that? तुम्हारो भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख विसरावे. We are suffering here because of our sinful activities performed in the many past lives. Reactions are coming, and therefore we are suffering here in this material world. So if you want at all to finish all your store karma, that is called sanchit karma. You know why we are suffering? Because we have something called sanchit karma, and that karma is storehouse of all the good and bad karma which we have performed in our millions of lifetimes. है ना? Karma granthi, hriday granthi. So it is there stored in our subtle body. Subtle body goes in all the bodies. Gross body remains here and it is burnt. But subtle body carries your spirit soul, just like air carries aroma. शरीरम यदवापनोति यच्चात् उत्क्रामति सुर ग्रहीतत्वानि सम्याति वायुर्गंधान इवाश. जिस तरीके से हवा जो है वो गंधा को, गंध मीन्स fragrance, it carries from one place to another. In the same way, this subtle body carries all the conceptions what you have developed in this life or it was there in the past. It will carry from this body to another body, subtle body. So that is called sanchit karma. And from sanchit karma, one something called prarabdha karma, it will be taken out according to your intensity of desire. Suppose there are many few desires that are very intense, you have desired with great intensity. So based on that, few karma from sanchit karma will be given, and that is called prarabdha karma. And when you take birth in your subtle body, it is given, and we live our life as per prarabdha karma. We achieve many things, we fail in many things. All these things are happening because of your prarabdha karma. You are thinking that I am the doer, but actually all these things are being done by you are getting all the success and failure, happiness, distress based on your prarabdha karma, which is nothing but based on your previous activities in the past. So like this, we have unlimited storehouse of karma, that is called sanchit karma. And if it is there, we'll be always taking body after body after body. So therefore we are suffering. So here it is said, तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख विसरावे. So by worshipping you, I can achieve the blessings of the Lord, the lotus feet of Lord Rama. And what will happen by that? I will forget all the miseries of my life. Kaise? Because by chanting the name of Lord Rama, all the miseries will be vanquished, burned to ashes. So this was one stanza, very powerful. And then another, just after this stanza, it was there, Antkal Raghuvar Pur Jai. So see, if you have developed this kind of bhakti towards Lord Hanumana or Rama, of course, when you have bhakti for Hanuman, naturally you will develop bhakti for Lord Rama. So this is the process. First we approach the devotee, and devotee will guide us to go to Krishna. Devotee will not say, no, no, you worship me. Then he is not a devotee. Hanuman becomes very much pleased when somebody starts worshipping Lord Rama. So that same way, devotee becomes very happy when Krishna is worshipped nicely. Just like you see today, how many of the population in the world knows Prabhupada? Very few. But how many of them knows Hare Krishna mantra or ISKCON? Everybody, if you go and do the statistics analysis, you will find that more than 90% people know ISKCON. But if you ask who established ISKCON, nobody knows. Very few people know that is Prabhupada who established ISKCON. So that is the greatness of a devotee. He will always keep himself behind. He will not put himself forward. Just like today's materialistic people, always in all the activity they will be trying to become center of attraction. No, I have done it. Even if he has not done it, but he will say, I have done it. I am the center of attraction. So this race is going on, but this is not the case in devotee. Devotee is always behind. He will put Krishna in front. So Hanuman is that kind of devotee. So Antkal Raghuvar Purajai, if you worship Hanuman or Lord Rama, then at the time of death you will go back to the abode of Lord Rama. And Sada Jahan Janm Hari Bhakta Ka, and you will be addressed as one of the devotees of Lord Rama. So like this, there are many stanzas in this which are very deep, which has to be understood very nicely. So with this I'll stop. If you have any question, you can ask, otherwise you can continue. Today you try to chant more. अच्छा, आज किसी ने 4 माला से ज्यादा किया? Anybody of you chanted more than 4 rounds? Ajay, Rakshita, Deepti, Dharmi, Jajpura, that is none other than Vishwas, I think. Dheeraj, Kirti, Piyush, Yogesh, आप लोगों में से कितने लोगों ने 4 माला से ज्यादा जप किया? पीयूष ने 8 माला जप किया, that is very nice. Good. Kirti, 10 rounds. Rakshita, how many rounds you chanted today? You have one doubt? 8 rounds. Oh, great. Very nice. And rest, Ajay, Anand, Dheeraj. Okay, so if you have not chanted, please chant. Today is very nice day. Dheeraj, 4 rounds. Okay, you can increase, because now the more you chant Hare Krishna, what will happen? More you will understand the value, and you will get the taste in chanting Hare Krishna. More you chant, more you will desire to chant. Less you chant, less you will desire to chant. That is the understanding. So as we progress in our spiritual life, we should increase our number of rounds also. Otherwise, we will remain there only. Where we started, there only will remain. So we should go on increasing our number of rounds. And if you chant more, no, we think that my time is going, and I don't have time. All these things you can give the reasoning and logic, but this is not the correct mindset. The accurate, the perfect mindset is, you would not feel that I have less time. Just like about Hanuman, it is said, he is always ready to serve the Lord. Atur, Prabhu, Charit, like that. Some stanza came, I'm not able to recall. So he's always anxious to serve the Lord. He will not say, no, I don't have time. Always time. So for chanting, you can never say that I don't have time. More you chant, in fact, more you'll get time. That is the principle. So try to chant more whenever you find time. Chant more number of rounds, and if possible, all of you can come in the morning, 6:15 about, and we chant all of us at you know 6:15, from 6:15 to 7 o'clock we chant, and in between I keep on explaining about the chanting, what is chanting, and what activity we are doing, and what should be there in our background while we are chanting. So by this our chanting quality improves and it enhances, and we start releasing the chanting, and that's how we can increase number of rounds also. So if you want, you can come, all of you can join our morning japa session. You will see that your chanting quality has improved. Yeah, some of you may feel that when I say in between something, then you will feel like I'm getting distracted. But actually, that will help in your chanting more, because it will create a background, it will create a feeling, it will create a faith, and it will give you the enthusiasm to chant more. Otherwise, if you are chanting alone, so you may think that I am going on chanting without any interruption, but your mind is interrupting. Our mind is the biggest enemy of japa. So mind goes here and there, and you don't know also my mind has gone somewhere. When your beat is about to get over, when 108 rounds, 108 times you are going to finish, then you realize, oh, my mind was roaming around here and there, I couldn't realize also. So what happens when we chant in the group or in the guidance, in between I suppose I spoke something, so that time you may feel, अरे प्रभु ने तो मेरा concentration distract कर दी. But no, your concentration was already distracted by your mind, and the mind has gone somewhere else. So now when suddenly I speak, then it will at least bring your mind back to your mala japa bead, and you can chant even nicely. So you can see, start getting up in the morning. That is one austerity which you have to follow. Get up early in the morning about 6 o'clock, and this is very good habit also. You will realize, if you don't realize now, you will realize later when you get some diseases. So better realize now only before getting any diseases. Precaution is better than cure. So don't think that कि हाँ चलो ठीक है सोते हैं सुबह में. No, try to get up early in the morning. So for that, schedule your time. You get up, you sleep in the night early about 12 o'clock, or don't cross 12. 12 is also very late. But if you have some work, don't cross 12 o'clock. And from 12 to 6, nicely you sleep. In one stretch, 6 hours sleep is more than enough. You will, when you get up, you will feel refreshed, and then get fresh and all those things, and come for japa, morning japa. I'll say that whole day you will be active, full of energy, enthusiasm, and the Lord's blessing will be there with you. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So all of you can plan in this way. Dheeraj, you want to say something?
यस प्रभु जी. प्रभु जी, हनुमान चालीसा में लिखा हुआ है, तुम रक्षा काहू को डरना. प्रभु जी, यहाँ पास हम लगा ये होना चाहिए, तुम रक्षा काहू को ना डरना ना.
हाँ, तुम रक्षा काहू को डरना.
हाँ, मतलब कि तुम रक्षा काहू को डरना, मतलब कि तुम रक्षा, ऐसा इसका मीनिंग नहीं समझ में आता.
इसका मीनिंग यह है कि इफ लॉर्ड इज प्रोटेक्टिंग, देन व्हाट इज द फियर. काहू को क्यों डरना? काहू मतलब क्यों.
अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है.
एक्चुअली में क्या, ये अवधि में लिखा हुआ है. अवधि में, ये जो हनुमान चालीसा है ये अवधि में लिखा हुआ है, इसलिए थोड़ा समझने में डिफिकल्टी होती है.
हाँ, वो हम हिंदी से समझ लिया.
हाँ,
हम हिंदी से समझ लिया था इसीलिए.
नहीं हिंदी नहीं, न तो हिंदी है न तो संस्कृत है, ये अवधि है. अवधि. तुम रक्षा की, आप रक्षा करें, काहू को डरना, दिन क्यों डरना भाई. देयर इज नो नथिंग टू बी फियर, है ना.
यस.
चलो ठीक है. तो धीरज, आप ऐसा लग रहा है हनुमान चालीसा पूरा याद करके रखे हैं बचपन से ही.
हाँ हाँ, याद है हमको.
याद है ना. चलो इसीलिए आप आज भगवान कृष्ण की भक्ति में आ गए, क्योंकि आप हनुमान जी के भक्त थे.
हाँ,
चलो अब अच्छे से जप करना है. भगवान जैसे हनुमान जी जप करते थे ना, वैसे